All right, Buford.
All right.
Okay, so
we are.
here we are. So started at 40.
Yeah.
Now it's just me and you.
Yes.
The two left standing here.
Last two.
So how you feeling?
How do I feel? I am negative relaxed. I'm like going back into my real world. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, to be
No.
honest. I miss the boys, but besides that, I don't know.
Yes.
The plus party.
Yes. Well, we started this thing,
Right.
and it was a thing. Like,
Yeah.
something that we just kind of said, let's look at a place.
Well, it blossomed.
It blossomed.
It certainly blossomed.
It was.
It definitely started very small.
Well, and then we're here. So now we're here at the last day. We're getting ready to leave.
What?
Did we ever envision this?
No.
What?
No. Like, it's interesting. So, COVID hit, and, me, you, and Kim, who always talked since college, we went from talking once every 2 weeks to once a week to, I would say, every day.
Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
It became, we needed each other to get through COVID. And if I'm really honest, I kept saying to everybody, today is not forever. Like, today is not forever. And I wanted to give people an understanding that there was something positive to look forward to. So that honestly was where we first started the conversations, like, let's start planning something fun.
Yes.
And at that time, it was just going to be like us.
Correct,
right?
yes.
And then we said, because we were very blessed, freshman year at Tuskegee, to meet just these great group of women with whom we're still close. And we're like, well, then maybe we'll expand it to just Tuskegee people. But as we kept going, I'll be honest, like, including you, if you don't mind me saying it, the women, because I've always been very women-centric, probably because my mother raised me and was very strong. I've always depended on women to support me and get me through. And I am all about that women energy. And women that I've talked to, for the first time I saw them struggling. Yeah. For the very first time I saw people that have had challenges in life, as we all do. Yes. But it was the first time I could see kind of cracks in the exterior. Mm-hmm. And it stressed me, and I wanted to fix it. And I think it got worse because, of course, we thought COVID was just going to be 3 months, and then it's in 6, and we didn't know when it was going to end. But then, on top of that, George Floyd was murdered.
Yes.
And I believe that, particularly for Black mothers, like, we were already like holding on, and that just pushed us over the edge where we watched this man's life be taken from him. And it was just exhausting. Like, it just was, what world is this? Between COVID, quite frankly, if you're African American, what was happening in politics at that time, then George Floyd, and then I believe that Black women carry so much because of COVID, we were carrying families. You're in the medical profession.
We've got patients in the unknown of COVID and trying to explain to families what that means. It was, and not really having answers to the multiple questions. And it was devastating to see, multiple people holding hands, supporting the staff that had to be there because families could not be there. And everything that we were doing in person stopped. Yeah. Coming into work, doing classes, training. But then you're in healthcare, so you have to still keep going. You still have new people coming. You've got to figure out how to do it. Zoom became a household name where we just use it every now and then.
But Zoom, you couldn't even do, but your job, when you're going to a hospital every day, you can't even do Zoom, right? And so you have the pressure of COVID and people dying every day.
Yes.
But then at the same time, you have a daughter who's home because the schools are closed.
Yes.
So there's no break, right? There is no, you have the mother, and then you have a father and a mother who depend on you greatly to take care of them, and you don't want them to get sick. And you're at the hospital, so you're scared that you're carrying COVID. So you had all of it.
Yes. And then trying to explain to a dad who has early onset dementia and can't understand why he can't go out and what it means to wear a mask. And I think we've talked about this sandwich generation that we're all in, you know, where you're taking care of older parents and children, and then at the whole time with the George Floyd, you're seeing that on the news every day. And then we had a president at that time
that didn't make us feel safe.
No, and it was like daily trauma.
It was daily trauma. It was daily trauma
every single day. I mean, and then you add into the Asian
hate
persecution of them throughout. So you add that on. So it was just being fearful.
And the financial basically collapse.
Yes.
Nothing felt safe. Nothing felt safe.
No.
And so that's kind of how this party started coming to be, because a couple of things for me, I realized that there was so much in life that I could not control. And there were people who were calling me and they were feeding me. They were adding something to my life in some way, even if it was an ear. And there were those who really could give nothing, because I think the relationship was always set up that that wasn't the case. And so what I thought about is, if I've learned nothing else, we cannot control many of the negative things that happen to us, but we can intentionally add positive things. So anything that I did, I was going to be very intentional about it being positive. If I could control it, what I could control, because there's so much we could, because at that time it seemed like chaos. Yeah. And that's where the name Plus Party came from. Yes. Like adding something to your life. Let's add all good things and be aware of adding positive things. Because sometimes we have negative stuff, we add negative stuff that we do not have to have.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
It's how we perceive it, how we internalize that. And I think the one thing we started off with, just, you know, doing something to look forward to.
Something to look forward to.
And then the pluses started, you know, plus happiness, plus fun, plus laughter.
Plus tequila.
Plus tequila. And then we just started adding in those people that added into your life in different walks of life. So, you know, how did we get here? How did we get from the nucleus to the Tammy, me, Buford, Kimla, and then adding the Sonia, I mean, and, you know, we had a nucleus, but when did you decide, okay?
You know what? People were dying. This is what I realized. People were dying. And Black people, you know, in our culture, we will spend a lot of money on funerals. Yeah. We will spend a lot of money on funerals. And I said, no one's invited to my funeral. I will not spend a dime on my funeral. Just so everyone knows, you are not invited to my funeral. Do not gather for me when I die. Why don't we go with the positive and plussing and gather when we're alive? Yeah. So not gather in death, but gather in life as much as possible. And so I thought about the women who have been pivotal in my life at some point, who have added to me in different ways, whether it be that they were at my first job and helped me get through, or, you know, like I tell people, wrote 2 books, started a company. Randy B was the thing that scared me the most, because I'm putting myself out there and that's hard. And every day, I swear, every day Randy B terrifies me. And also because I speak very candidly about acceptance issues of all people. And that's just controversial. What's sad is saying that we should accept and love all people, you know, whether of race, sexual orientation, religion, is somehow controversial to people. So I put myself out there. Yes. I do mainly talk about Black people because I'm Black and I can speak to it the most. And yes, I do love my Blackness. And you know, some people for some reason thinks that means I hate other people, which is insane. But anyway, so those people who every day like everything, because I don't get paid by likes, it's just the encouragement. So those people who, of course, that I met in college who got me through, people who were there, like on my first, like in our television show, or people that just have held my hand when I've cried. I was like, who have been the people who have been there, who I consider, if they were to die, God willing, because you had to think about death a little bit in COVID. If they were to die, whose funeral would you show up with? If this person were to pass away, like maybe you hadn't talked in 3 years, or 5 years, but if this person were to pass away, you'd be sad, and if possible, show up at the funeral. I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm showing up in life. I'm showing up in life, and I'm going to, I don't care if anything bad has happened, if we had a disagreement, which most people I don't, but let's just say, but do I love you? And do I want you in my life? Are you a plus in my life? And so just intentionally start inviting those people. And the sad part is, no, the blessing is, the absolute blessing is, I was comfortable, I said maybe 50, because I just turned 50 in December. I could have had more. Like, I've been very blessed by some amazing women, I think, because I've opened my heart up to that.
Yes, you have.
And it's interesting, when we had the party, what was everybody's biggest concern?
Who was going to be there?
Who all going to be there?
Who's going to be there? What's going on? But I think that the first day, if there were any type of, not sure, it kind of went out the window. It just went out the window.
Because everybody has such good souls, good spirits. There was no negativity. No negativity. Everybody got along.
Yes. And it was not what you do. It was, hey, I'm Randi. Hey, I'm Kim. I'm Buford. I'm Lauren. That's it. And I'm just a woman that's here to enjoy and to love and be open. And I'm here to just introduce myself. And that was it.
And yourself as yourself. Like, I believe we walk around this world with coverings of what we do, who we are, our relationships, if we're married, if we're single, what designers we like. And I really try to prepare people to come as you are, because that's who we want to know. That's who we want to know. We don't care about the rest of it, because you're not going to help me pay a bill or anything. Come as you are. And I intentionally invited women who I knew would do that too. Like would come, would strip down from all that. And I would suggest that probably most people don't even know what each other does, but so much.
Correct, yes.
Because it was a bonding. And the people keep asking me, what was my favorite moment? And it was all these little moments that unfortunately camera didn't catch, where I just catch people who just met, 30 minutes or 3 hours or 3 days before, and they're just like cracking up. Or they're like, like that crying, laughing, or they're crying, or they're just crying, right?
Yeah.
And that bonding that happens, because I just think when women gather, man. Just when women gather, there's healing happens, strength comes. It's just something very beautiful.
And I think it was just the sense of, hey, sis, girl, you wearing that?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I love those earrings.
Yeah.
Oh, your first time getting lashes.
Yes,
okay,
honey.
for that trip. And I was like, girl, I love your lashes. It's like, it's just that, oh, you just rocking. Oh my, how that sun, oh my gosh, just is, I think I learned from, I think it was Deidre, that the best time to take a picture is looking at the sun. And she told us at our table how the sun just hits all the spots when you just, because
the sun loves us, all this melanin.
Yes, she's like, so I can't remember what she said the time of day it was, but everyone's at the table taking selfies at the sun. Like, oh yes, this is it. So it was amazing.
We elevated. I think and we needed it. We needed it. And so, as I was planning this with the party planner, Priscilla, who's the best party planner, I'll be telling you about her. Ever. As I was planning it with her, and we kept talking about stuff, and I was like, I want masseuses here every day. Because I said, I want the women here who have been caring for everybody to leave here feeling cared for and loved. I don't care about but I need and so that was like what we put at the middle, the center of the planning was, what will make this person feel cared for? That's why I even did transportation. I didn't want anyone to think about how they were going to get from the airport to here. I wanted there's to be someone to pick you up. There'll be someone to rub your feet. There'll be someone there'll be someone to pour your drink, because so often people don't take care of women, And I often ask the question, who takes care of Black women? I think, as I saw even during this election year, I mean, here we are like dying, like we're like dying, and yet Black women are out there like still ensuring that Georgia, goes blue. Like we are just always caring. And I'm like, who cares for us? And this is no slight of Black men, because of course I love Black men and think they're wonderful, and we even had 2 honorees here. But yes. But I do think that we do have this strong Black woman trope that is true. I do believe that we are hellified. We're just hell of women. We're amazing. We're strong. Yes. But oftentimes what people need to know is because we've had to be.
Yes,
right?
we do. Yes.
We've had to be. And we like to put the burden down sometimes.
Yes. And I think getting off the plane and walking out and then being able to see someone there hold it. It's the small things. It's the little things. We're just at Randi B.Plus party and realizing that person was there for me.
Yeah.
For me, like, okay, and then to be able for them to say, I taught that. Here's a cool call. Would you? It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, and that was just the beginning of it. And then to step into this, and then to see, the first thing I did was get in the pool.
Yes, you did.
I was like, okay, bathing suit. I don't have all that bag. See you later. Yeah, you gotta get close to the water.
Well, yeah, and I just really want people to understand, like, nothing was about flossing or anything. It was honestly about loving and elevating and nurturing each other, and reminding women to do that for one another. And the only thing I ask people, I said, just pay it forward. Just continue, and not that you have to have a plus party, but just realize that your sisters, even those of us who don't show the cracks, who don't. Because, it's hard for us Black women to show when we feel weak, and we just started talking about mental health and health in our world, in our community. It's hard for us. So just always just assume that your sister could use a little pickup, a little love, a little tenderness, because we carry so much. So that's what this was about. And I was telling people, I feel restored. I feel fed, and people have sent me messages thanking me, and it's like, I am thanking you and every single woman who was here for being open to this and to loving one another, because I'm full. Like, I'm so full. So it was just good.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was good. I'm looking forward to all of the things that you set out to the universe, all the positive things, all the paying it forward.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes.
I hope so. Thanks, Bu.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Yes, ma'am.